Blame it all on my roots. I showed up in boots and ruined your black tie affair.
That's easily answers to
I just think attitude is everything, and it can be reminded by people around you.
What's neat about making all that noise? They were really happy for their dad.
Hey guys, it's Andrew Wall. So I'm going to ask you an interesting question while I've got you. So I've listened to a bit of your background.
Yeah.
And I know you started in engineering, and I know that you came from sort of tougher roots, you know. And I wonder, how important is it to have that tougher background to become a leader of a multi-billion-dollar company? Do you think that that is a real differentiator that drives you? And do you see that with other leaders in big firms where the people who come from tougher roots, who have that stronger desire, end up moving up that ladder better? Because I think I've seen that.
Yeah, you know, it's a great question. I don't know if everybody has to have very tough experiences, but I think people need to experience failure to know what it takes to respond.
Yeah.
I think that's what's most important because failures, big failures, ultimately shape you as an individual, and it tests your grit to whether or not you have what it takes to stand back up. And I think that's what's most important.
Yeah.
Having a tough background, I don't think is the only ingredient. I just think failures where you learn how to stand back up and respond.
Well, and the other thing is, I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like being a leader of an organization your size. Being a leader of an organization my size, which is much smaller, I end up dealing with a lot of the crappy parts of the business that roll uphill, right?
Yeah.
The tough parts of the business are the things that ultimately you as the leader, it's your decision, it's your name on the line, you've got to deal with that. And I was actually talking to Rich Priest about this earlier today, and I was saying, like, that's got to be, you've got to have that ability to deal with that. Like, you're constantly dealing with those tough issues, you know, those hard points that other people can't solve, which can be tough, but it's also, if you aren't having those failures, if you aren't having those struggles, it means that the company isn't innovating.
That's right.
So how do you as a leader cope with the fact that I imagine you've got to be facing the toughest obstacles every day that the organization is facing?
Well, you know, I think it's actually just recognizing that every day is a good day. It's attitude.
Yeah.
If you have the right attitude and the right passion, and you look at every day as an opportunity to tackle an obstacle, to overcome an obstacle, to figure out how to solve a problem, then your view on the world changes. So I think it's all about attitude.
Yeah. And that's what Rich said. I told me to cut you off.
Oh, interesting.
But he said, I'm like, this has got to be a culture thing. I wonder, is this coming from Scott? Because he was like, you know, it's all in how you look at it.
Yeah.
It's you know, you can either look at your day and have the exact same day and look at it as a, you know, as a 4 out of 10 or it was a 9 out of 10, and it's all perspective.
Yeah, that's right.
And you can choose to walk away from that day either saying, you know what, it was a tough day, but I learned a lot. Yeah. Or it was a tough day and I'm dreading coming into work tomorrow. And that's up to you.
I'll tell you, I think most good leaders learn that from one of their mentors or one of their friends or one of their peers, that attitude is everything.
Yeah.
I get it a lot from, or I get reminded by it by my wife.
Yeah.
Because she's always had a great attitude about life, and frankly, anytime that I may be down under, she was like, hey, you should just be fortunate that you have what you have and you're in the...
It's an attitude of gratitude.
That's right.
And that is this community.
That's exactly right.
And that's why I love it. I mean, everyone has got an attitude of gratitude. They're grateful for every situation and every opportunity they've got, and so much so that they're willing to be open share the wealth and share the bounty of the group, which is lifting up the entire tribe.
Totally. That's right.
So how much planning goes into this event?
Oh, huge. We start planning for next year's now. It just takes, you know, a big part of it is also the innovations we're going to launch. I mean, those are in the works now.
Right.
In terms of what are the most important things we want to launch, and how do we ensure that they're resourced appropriately, you know, who are going to be our speakers, and because, you know, it's not easy to lock down, you know, an A-Rod.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So those things we start planning a year in advance.
Yeah, and Oprah, remember that?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how long that took you, but kudos to Mark, who I believe helped make that happen.
It's incredible for us to get those types of speakers for everybody here because they're so motivational and they're an inspiration to all of us.
Yeah. How do you decide on what speakers you're going to bring?
You know, we think a lot about the theme. Like this year, it's anything is possible, which is why we had Vin. I mean, Vin had a tremendous story about anything is possible.
He was
incredible, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
I feel sorry that the small business guys didn't get to see it.
Oh, that's right. He was incredible. So it depends on the theme, and then based on the theme, we look at our slate and who's possible. And then you know, some folks are either we typically get who we want.
Yeah.
Some people are just simply not available the date we want them, and then some people we may want them, but there may be things going on in their life that we don't want them on stage because we don't want it to represent. We don't want our customers to think it represents us. There's a lot that just goes into who we bring. Because, you know, everybody that's a somebody has something has gone on in their life. And that's not always a bad thing.
I don't envy the people that make the decisions.
Yeah.
So I got to ask you another question.
Yeah.
If you could have anybody up on that stage, dead or alive, who would it be?
Dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
Dead.
Wow, I need to think about that.
And you can have dinner with them too.
Anybody dead or alive?
Dead or alive?
You know, I'm a big sports guy.
Who do you follow?
I think it'd be really interesting to have Phil Jackson up on stage. He's the 10-year champion of. Hey,
thank you. You got it. Thank you for giving us that answer before you ran out of time. Yeah. Now that is awesome. That is proof of making the impossible possible.
Absolutely, we did it.
Okay, we gotta let Lisa talk.